All right, hello. We are still in June. Book 102 is Indian Burial Ground by Nick Medina. Um, there are some horror aspects, but really this story is much more of a family story. It is centered in a Indian reservation that is, I think, in Louisiana, the Dakota tribe, and I Googled it and I found out this was a fictional tribe that Nick Medina uses in his books. And there are two stories. There's Louis, who's in the kind of the 1980s, and Naomi, who's present day, and Louis is Naomi's uncle. And it deals with, life on a reservation, and in particular, some really heavy subjects around suicide and alcoholism and, how hard it is to maybe get along financially and emotionally, especially if you're Native American. Thought it was very good. I ended up giving it a 4, and I'll look for other works by him. All right, book 103 was a reread by it's Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret by Judy Blume. And I think many, many, many people read this when they were a teenager. Of course, I did as well. So now it's a much different read when you're over 50. It was very, very good. It's a short book. I think it's, it's, just like, 200 pages. So it's nothing. But it tells the story of Margaret and the things she has to deal with as a teenager. Getting your period, kind of boy crushes. There is a pretty big section about religion in there because one parent is Jewish and one parent is Christian, and they are like, hey, you choose your religion when you get older and you feel great about it, but their parents don't like that, and there's a lot of issues with the in-laws because of that. It's very fascinating to me that this book is a banned book. I think even today it's still banned because, frankly, talking about sex, which is, there's nothing spicy. It's just talking about what everybody goes through when they're 12, and the religion thing. I think you should reread it when you're older. It still definitely holds up, and you kind of relive your experience. I ended up giving it a 4. Thought it was very, very good. And book 104 is an audiobook that I just finished. It's called The Art Thief by Michael Finkel. This was also a 4, so there was a great series of books this week. This is a wild book. It's only 6 hours, so it's super short, goes fast. And it talks about the art thief Stefan Breitweiser and his girlfriend. They were art thieves in the 90s and early 2000s. I think he is essentially my age right now. He's in his 50s. And I didn't know anything about him, but they stole so much art. They are like the largest individual, thieves of art. And they just kept it in their, he lived with his mother, and so they lived in the attic, and they just kept it in the attic and looked at it every day. It was like just their personal collection. They didn't sell it for money. They had no money. They just stole art. And it was him. She was kind of just the lookout. And it goes through kind of all the stuff he stole and kind of how he did it, a little bit through the trial, and then, his life kind of now, which, he can't give it up. It's obviously a mental, psychological problem he has that he cannot stop stealing. It was just crazy how much art he stole. And we go to a lot of museums when we travel, so I will absolutely not look at a museum and its security the same way now that I've read this book. It was a fun read. I recommend this book. Again, I gave it a 4.